Hey, what's good, family? How y'all doing today? This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. Hope y'all had a blessed and wonderful weekend. And last time I was on here, I believe it was Thursday or Friday. So I took a little 2, 3 day hiatus, whatever. Not really hiatus, but I was real busy yesterday. And the weekend, I worked, so I wasn't able to come on here. But yesterday I was real busy. Went to the mosque and helped the brothers out clean up the mosque. So yesterday was a busy day for me. In any event, hope y'all are doing well. Hope you had a blessed and wonderful weekend. Hope you had a blessed and wonderful first day of the work week, which is yesterday. Hope you're having a blessed and wonderful second day of the work week, which is today. This is a day that God has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. So we thank Allah for waking us up to see another day. And the likelihood that you're having one of those days, because we all know in this life, we just have those moments. Until life, a little rain must fall. And if today is one of those days, always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah, God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. So, getting to the topic for this video. So, the DNC was in Chicago last week and it wrapped up on Thursday night. Kamala Harris gave her speech, whatever. She officially accepted the Democratic Party's um, nomination for president. And, she really didn't really speak on none of them really spoke on economic policies because the theme of the DNC, and I mentioned this last week, the theme of the DNC was joy, joy, joy. We want to promote joy, joy. That was the theme of the DNC, joy, joy. We want to promote joy. That's what we want to promote. Joy, joy, joy. Nothing about policy. Nothing about, of course, they didn't mention reparations. You know, Black people go out and vote for them in the millions. We go out and we put these people in the office to represent us, but they're not representing us. We don't get nothing in the deal. We're left out in the cold. We're just left out hung to dry. Every presidential election, it's the same thing. Black people, we take our booties to the polls, take our souls to the polls, shut up and vote, but we don't get a damn thing in return. Quid pro quo. You want something from me, I want something from you. Doctrine of fair exchange. But with us, it's the doctrine of unequal exchange. Dr. Claude Anderson has been talking about that for decades. For decades, this man has been talking about that. But we have yet to grasp that concept. It's just utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. So they promoted joy. They had the Obama speak, Michelle and Barack. Of course, you know, Michelle Obama said, and I think I'm paraphrasing this. She said, someone should let Donald Trump know that the job he's seeking is one of those black jobs. And people that's lost their mind. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You saw one, they had the camera on one black lady. She was, it's like, really? Ooh, ooh, one of those black, tell him he's seeking one of those black jobs. Ooh. Trump was called names, of course. It's like Obama, he has a problem with crowd sizes. Like that's fine, that's great. That's great. But what are y'all gonna do for the country? What are y'all gonna do for black people who put their hope, trust, and faith in y'all? Where are your policies? Where's our anti-black hate crime bill? reparations, a contract with Black America that Brother Ice Cube was doing 4 years back. And y'all gave him the middle finger for it. Remember that? No policy. What about foreign affairs? Getting us out these proxy wars, sending billions upon billions of dollars to both Ukraine in their fight with Russia and Israel in their war with Hamas. Not to mention Syria and Yemen. All these proxy wars. We want peace with Israel and Hamas. No, the hell you don't, because just 2 weeks ago, Biden gave $65 billion to Israel. So how the hell do you want peace? That's ridiculous. That'd be like the vice lords and GDs going to war with each other, and you picking the side of the vice lords, and you tell them, well, I want peace in the hood, but I'm gonna give you money to buy weapons to kill the gangster disciples, the GDs. I'm gonna give you money to take out the GDs. But vice lords, we want peace. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications of whenever I do videos on here. It doesn't make any sense. I want peace, but I'm gonna steady send the other side money to kill the other side. But we want peace. And sadly, the American public is falling for it. These are proxy wars that we're paying for. Their taxpayers are paying for it. But they printed up money, which causes inflation, causes the dollar to lose its value. They don't say nothing about that. They don't talk about how the average American worker is struggling. They don't talk about that. Well, they mention it, but they don't say what their solution to the problem is. All I heard about women's rights to abort their babies and you having the freedom to love whomever you want to love. You've always had that right. Women have had rights in this country. What are they talking about? Since when do women lose rights? They're just fooling y'all. Oh, speaking of, and then I think I mentioned this last week. They had human sacrifice trucks, mobile abortion clinics at the DNC or like 3 blocks away, but pretty much at the DNC. This is well documented. It's videos of it. They had mobile death trucks, abortion trucks at the DNC, Planned Parenthood trucks. I'm not making this up. Get your free abortion. Oh, they were free, by the way. Get your free vasectomy. Get your free abortion. Giving out pills and vasectomies. These people are wicked. They have no shame in their game. It's open. Free abortion pills, free vasectomies, Planned Parenthood. Absolutely insane. But our people don't see through it. Sister Angela Stanton King, and shout out to her. She's been raising this point, and I think I mentioned it on here. But why is it that you don't see these abortion vans, trucks, Planned Parenthood mobile units, whatever the hell you want to call them, why don't you see them at the southern border? Why don't you see them parked on the border between Texas and Mexico, New Mexico and Mexico, Arizona and Mexico? Why don't you see them there? Why? Why is that? Excellent point by Sister Angela Stanton King. Why is it that you don't see them at the southern border, but you see them in our neighborhoods? They're being promoted to our people. Why is that? Sister Angela Stanton King brought up a stat on X a few days ago that the population of Black people here in the United States was 12 million in 1980. Guess what it is 44 years later? 13 million. So we've only grown by 1 million people in 44 years. 1 million people in 44 years. While everyone else, their population is growing, and we know white people aren't producing babies. But what is happening though, a lot of these migrants that's coming, illegal migrants that's coming from south of the border, they're checking the boxes being white. They're checking the boxes being white. They're not checking the boxes as being what they are, Hispanic, whatever. They're checking it as being white, Caucasian. So when the census does their numbers, the numbers look inflated because these people are not checking the boxes as being, Hispanic or Latino or Latinx or whatever the politically correct phrase is these days. They're not checking the boxes being that. They're checking as being white. So that's why the number of white people, it seems to be higher than what it is. I didn't know that until about 4 years ago. But yup. So, joy, joy. Kill your babies. Men don't have babies. Joy, joy, joy. Nothing about reparations, nothing about an anti-black hate crime bill, nothing about an economic plan for the black community, nothing about anything for America. And Kamala Harris, she wants to cap everything. Her economic plan, if you want to call it that, is an economic disaster. And economists have said this. There was an economist on CNN that said that very same thing, that it's a disaster. You want to put the cap on prices, on the price of goods here in the country? That's dumb. That's socialism. That's what they did in Venezuela. And guess what? It didn't work out for them. That's why they're coming over here by the thousands. You put the cap on things, it takes away from free enterprise. America is a capitalist nation. Free enterprise, competition. You want to get it cheaper from here? Or, you can shop around, get a better deal here than over there. Don't like that deal, get one over here. But you put a cap on things, only thing it's gonna do is screw us even more. It's gonna screw over the American worker and the public even more. Because you know what companies gonna start doing? They're gonna start cutting costs, laying off employees, cutting corners on goods. So instead of you getting quality products, you're gonna get shitty products now because they can't afford to keep up. They're gonna cut corners. It's gonna hurt manufacturing. All this is gonna be a ripple effect. But no, don't worry about that. Joy, joy, joy. Feel free to love who you love. Women, you have the right. People don't see it. The people don't see through it. They don't see through it. They don't see the fuckery. And it's going to be too late. Could you imagine the government running supermarkets and stores like Target and Walmart? That's what they did in the Soviet Union back in the 80s. We're going to ration you out per household 3 rolls of toilet paper or 4 rolls of paper towel, 3 bottles of soap, 3 bottles of this much food, ration it out. Do with what you make do with what you have. That goes beyond socialism. That's fascism. That's what the Soviet Union did in the 80s. Communist Soviet Union did that. And guess what happened? The Soviet Union collapsed. That's right, in the early 90s. Collapsed. They want to turn America into the Soviet Union or North Korea. That's pretty much what they want to do. But our people don't see through it because joy, joy. Trump is bad. Trump is bad. Trump is racist. Joy, 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 joy. Tell Trump that one of those jobs he's seeking is a black job. Ooh, ooh. When are we going to learn? When? I keep asking that question every time I come on here doing these videos. It sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but damn it, we got to learn. We have got to learn. It's ridiculous. Central Park 5 came out on at the DNC on Thursday. Central Park 5, we all know about it. The 5 teenagers in New York that were sent to prison, juvenile detention and then prison for the brutal rape and assault of a New York City jogger in Central Park in the spring of 1989. Oh, my dog needs to be quiet. Okay. Chill out. Thank you. Must have a package or something. But in any event, so the Central Park 5, we all know they were convicted in the spring of 1989 for the brutal rape and assault of a Central Park jogger in Central Park in New York City. Well, they were at the DNC on Thursday with Al Sharpton. I can't really call him a reverend because he don't have a pulpit or a church. Anyway, they were there with him. They spoke, and they took aim at Trump. Of course they did. But what people fail to realize was that in 1989, when Donald Trump took out those ads in the New York City paper calling for their execution, which I don't agree with him doing that. I don't agree with him doing that. However, freedom of speech. Trump was exercising his First Amendment right, freedom of speech. I don't agree with it. Many of us don't agree with it. But hey, that's his right. He was speaking as a citizen. Donald Trump wasn't even thinking about politics in 1989. The man was a billionaire. The man had casinos in Atlantic City. He was hanging out with Don King and Mike Tyson and Jesse Jackson and many, many others, Al Sharpton included. Donald Trump, 1989, was 43 years old. Politics wasn't even in his vision then. I think he did register as a Democrat, but he wasn't, but they took aim at Trump, but Trump didn't convict them. The lady who convicted them, I'm about to tell you now, what's her name? Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when I do videos on here. Thank you very much. Linda Fairstein. Brother John, thank you. Salute. Yup. Linda Fairstein. Oh, by the way, here's an interesting sidebar about Linda Fairstein. She's a Democrat. That's right. Linda Fairstein is a Democrat. Oh, also, Linda Fairstein was a donor to the Clintons. Let me repeat that again. Linda Fairstein is a Democrat. The Democratic National Convention, Democrat. The Central Park Five was at the Democratic National Convention last Thursday night in Chicago at the United Center. Linda Fairstein is from that, supports that party. She was a donor of the Clintons, donated to Bill Clinton's presidency. Were friends with Bill and Hillary Clinton. So was Donald Trump at that time. Well, he was in the 90s. I don't know about 1989, but he was friends with the Clintons in the 90s and 2000s. It's well documented. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, Oprah Winfrey, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. It's well documented, y'all. But the Central Park Five, they have been bamboozled, run amok, led astray. They've been had. Where's all this smoke for Linda Fairstein? It's a fair question. Y'all got all the smoke for Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't sentence y'all. He didn't have that power. He was a citizen. He just took out ads in the paper, which again, I don't agree with him doing that, but that's the Second Amendment right. He was practicing his First Amendment rights. I don't agree with him doing that, but it's not about what I agree with. Oh, not to mention that one of the young boy's father told him to confess to what he did. He took him down to the precinct. He said, "Tell the police what you did." And he confessed to the crime. Years later, found out that they did not do it, but they confessed to it. One of them confessed, and the other four confessed too. That's how that worked. The father put pressure on his son to confess to that crime, and the other four did the same thing. The question begs is, should they have been questioned without parental or adult supervision? That's a fair question, and I say they shouldn't. They should not have been questioned without adult supervision. But that goes on the New York Police Department. That goes to this DA, Linda Fairstein, Ed Koch, the late Mayor Koch. There are some things about him too, but that's another story for another day. But the late Mayor Koch, who was mayor of New York in 1989, played a role. That's right, he played a role in their convictions because it was such a media hype. Not so much around the country, but in New York at that time. There was a lot of stuff going on in New York with young black men. What's the young man that was murdered in Howard Beach by the he was run down on the freeway? I can't think of his name. Oh, I can't think of that young brother's name. But there was a lot of racial tensions going on in New York in the mid to late 80s, early 90s. A lot of racial tension going on in New York at that time. The temperature was high. So this was a political move by Linda Fairstein, and that's right, brother, Ed Koch. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Salute. And these brothers did time. I think, let me see here. Got it pulled up. Brother Yusef Salam, who's a congressman out of New York now. Congrats to him. Antoine McCrae, Kevin Richardson, Raymond Santana, and Corey Wise, known as the Central Park Five, later the Exonerated Five. So McCrae, Richardson, Salam, Santana, and Wise, their sentences were vacated in 2002. Lopez's conviction was vacated in just 2 years ago. Damn, just 2 years ago. All five defendants sued the city of New York for malicious prosecution, racial discrimination, and emotional distress. The city settled the suit in 2014, 10 years ago, for $41 million. They should have got more than that. They should have sued them bankrupt. Yusef Hawkins. Thank you, Brother James. Salute. Yusef Hawkins. So the temperature, like I said, the temperature in New York at that time, the mid 80s to early 90s was very, very, very hot. Racial tensions were going on in New York, Queens and Brooklyn and Manhattan, all over New York, between Italians and blacks, Jews and blacks, the New York Police Department, Ed Koch, Linda Fairstein. A lot of stuff was going on in New York at that time. And this was a political move. Ed Koch needed, he lost the election to David Dinkins, who, by the way, was the first black mayor in the history of New York. New York City's first black mayor was the late David Dinkins, who was just as bad. David Dinkins didn't do much for the black community. As a matter of fact, I believe no, it's not what that I believe. I know for a fact. David Dinkins had some unflattering things to say about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's right. But it's not a big surprise. He got a Democratic shield, so whatever. But yeah, they have all the smoke for Trump. But where's the smoke for Linda Fairstein? I wonder where the Central Park Five paid to be up there. Brother Yusuf, if I'm not mistaken, Yusuf Salam, I believe he's a Democrat. I know he's a congressman in New York or something to that effect. He's a politician now. And he wants to make change, and I salute the brother for that. But brother, where's the smoke for Linda Fairstein? Where's the smoke for the Democrats? They're the ones that sent y'all to jail, to prison, to rot and die. Not all money is good money, because it's been known that the Democratic Party paid people to go up there and just pretty much say Trump is the bad guy. Trump is the bad guy. Again, not all money is good money. I don't know how much money had changed hands, but something just don't seem right about them being up there. And my heart goes out to what they went through in prison. But I'm not gonna let my son admit to something that he did not do. If I cannot prove it and you can't prove it, and my son said he's innocent, I'm gonna say, stick on it, son. Stand by it. If you didn't do what they accuse you of, you stand by it. You stand by it. You stick to your guns. And and as your father, I'm gonna stand by you. If you didn't do it, if they can't prove it, then you know what? We're gonna take it to trial until they prove their case. But the father, I don't know if him and I think that I forgot which one of what one of the Central Park Five it was. But him and his father didn't have a good relationship. Why would you let your son go up, send your son up the river? What kind of parent are you? But he put pressure on his son to admit to something that he didn't do, and the other four followed suit. And look what happened. Again, Al Sharpton was pressured to have those brothers up there because he's a known paid shield of the Democratic Party. Al Sharpton must have got paid big time. But it's just it goes back to what I said earlier. The fuckery. We don't see through it. We're so enamored with joy, 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 joy. Trump is bad. Love who you love. Women's rights. So we can't see the Trojan horse. We can't see the fuckery. They lull us to sleep. The Pied Pipers. They got the little whistle and they just lull us. They have us in a trance. It's like we're brainwashed. Crazy. And Judge Joe Brown broke this down uh, on the interview with the Art of Dialogue. Support that brother. Support the Art of Dialogue. Fuck DJ Vlad. I know this is off topic, but that culture vulture, Vlad the Impaler, Vlad, Vlad the Bloodsucker, that vampire, that vampire devil is an informant, and he comes to start beefs amongst black people and go and inform on them. He's an informant. So black entertainers, stop going on DJ Vlad. I don't know if y'all gonna see this video. I pray to Allah that you do. Stop going on DJ Vlad. Stop supporting him. Black people, stop subscribing to his channel. Stop encouraging his fuckery. Support the Art of Dialogue and many other independent black podcasters. Support these brothers and sisters. Support them. Ones who are telling the truth. Not all of them are, but the ones that are, support them. But Judge Joe Brown broke down the Central Park 5 case eloquently on an episode of the Art of Dialogue. He did, I think it was last week. Go check it out. Judge Joe Brown is a great, great man. He reminds me so much of my father. They're old school. They were born around the same time. They just no nonsense. They tell it like they see it. Call it like they see it. That brutal, honest truth. Even though Judge Joe Brown is from the South Central LA, my father was from the South. So, but they had that thick Southern accent. But he reminds me so much of my father. But my late father, that is. But yeah, check it out. Um, I don't know how this election's gonna go, but it would not surprise me that And two months from now, when they get close to election day, election night, the race is close, and there's going to be some issues with the voting machines, particularly in swing states, in cities like Philadelphia, Detroit, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Las Vegas, um, Charlotte, and Raleigh. Those swing states. It would not surprise me. Oh, there's issues with the voting machines in Detroit. There's issues with voting machines in Philadelphia, in Milwaukee, in Vegas, in Charlotte, Raleigh. There's issues. You don't say. Big damn surprise. Every election, there's always issues with the voting machines. Ever since 2000, y'all remember 2000, Bush and Al Gore, the hanging chads. It's crazy. It's crazy. Always issues. Y'all don't see through this shit. I want to know something. I want to know. This may sound crazy, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Why can't you vote online? You could do everything else online. Driver's license, everything else. Set up. You could file for your LLC, which is what I did online. Everything, mostly everything that you need to do is online nowadays. Why can't you vote online? There wouldn't be any issues. Every election since 2000, there's always something with these voting machines, or something always is going on. There wasn't really in 2008, 2012, because they wanted Obama to get in there. So minus 2008, 2012. But 2000, 2004, when John Kerry, I remember there was issues about with him and George W. Bush. 2016, 2020, and now there's going to be, I guarantee it, it's going to be issues in this election. Pennsylvania has already said they are not declaring a winner on the night of the election. Wow, that's interesting. That's some fuckery. That's what I'm talking about. You know why that is, sister? Because Pennsylvania is a swing state, and Philadelphia in particular, Philadelphia has a black mayor, Sherelle Parker, a sister girl. She's going to support Kamala Harris, who's not a sister girl, who's an Indian girl, a woman of color. And Philadelphia is going to be interesting because, from what I've been hearing, that a lot of people in Philly, black people in Philly, are leaning toward Donald Trump. That's what I heard from a source. I'm not going to say who told me that, but this brother is in the streets, and he's on social media a lot. So when I follow and I have love for, and he lives in North Philly, so he should know, and he's out in those Philly streets. And he said that a lot of people, he's been taking the temperature of the city, going to the barbershops, just doing different works in the community. And he said a lot of black people in Philly are leaning toward Donald Trump. But the media won't tell you that because they want those people silenced. They are low IQ voters. Funny how that happens. If you're black and you don't vote for Kamala Harris, you're low IQ. It's crazy. But he said a lot of brothers, particularly black men, black men in Philly, are not feeling Kamala Harris. And I could I don't live in Philly, but I could believe it. I could believe it. Judge Joe Brown stays on comments. Yeah, he does. I love it too, sister. I love it. The laughing hyena, that laughing hyena, Kamala Harris, that's all she is a laughing hyena. That lying hyena, Mrs. Amhoff, Judge Joe Brown got that thick southern. Mrs. Amhoff, the laughing hyena, Mrs. Amhoff. She's a hyena. That's what she is. She's a hyena. I love it. I love it when Judge go after Kamala Harris. Love it. A laughing hyena. Your brother, the laughing hyena. She's a liar, Mrs. M. Hall. There's no way in hell. You have to be a fool to vote her in the White House. I love this accent. Reminds me so much of my late father. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. But hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when I do videos on here. But that's pretty much the Judge accent, though. Thank you, sister. I try my best. The media lying about Donald Trump, Mrs. Emhoff, and why did she change her last name to Harris? Why isn't it Emhoff? The laughing of hyena, and she not a black woman. Black people, y'all stop it. But I'm not gonna go any further. I'm gonna stop right there. But y'all get the gist what I'm saying. But in any event, just pay attention to what's going on. It's gonna get crazy out here. It's gonna get crazy. The media wants to suppress the truth. Like I said, like I keep saying, they want to keep us deaf, dumb, and blind. And sadly, many of us we're falling for it. We just want to accept it. People in my family, unfortunately, people close to me. It's like, do the research. Do the research. It's out there. Do the damn research. You have a phone. These phones right here. This phone right here. Plenty of information in it. Plenty. Do the research. It's no excuse to be willfully ignorant. We're all ignorant to a certain extent. We all are ignorant. Not everyone knows everything. But to be willfully and pridefully ignorant and dumb, that's a problem. And there's no excuse for that. I'm going to land my plane there. I hope I was able to make myself clear on these issues, on this topic. Share this video if you like it. Share it, share it, share it. Let's have the conversation. Hit that thumbs up button. Smash that that thumbs up button down. Smash that baby down. And subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, please. Need y'all love and support. Brother can't do it without y'all. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. We don't have to agree, but let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Let's do that, y'all, please. Sisters as well as brothers, y'all be safe out here in these streets. Y'all be safe. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. So whether you're going to work, coming home from work, running errands, school has started back in many parts of the country. Dropping your kids off at school, picking them up, whatever the case may be. Some of y'all may be on vacation still, whatever the case. Be safe. Be safe. Beware and be aware. Brothers as well as sisters. I love y'all. Continue to support my podcast and my YouTube channel here. And y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. I'm out. Love y'all much. Assalamu alaikum.